This is the W05 from the 2014 season, the first Mercedes F1 car of the hybrid era. Of course, this was the debut of the 1.6-litre V6 turbo hybrid power unit, and it's a project that started back in 2012 from the early learnings and discoveries found on the KERS project. Some of the elements of the power unit hadn't even been invented yet, they didn't exist, so the team at Brixworth had to start from scratch. In fact, some of the engineers were even wondering whether the project was possible, and it was decided that the team at Brixworth would put in the extra hours required to ensure that everything was done in time. By the summer of 2013, the first engines were on the dyno, but this proved to be problematic and it didn't run smoothly, mainly with major issues on the MGU-H. The first car was fired up just before Christmas in 2013, and by the start of 2014, the power units were stable over a single lap, but over a full race distance, well, that was a big unknown. The early days of pre-season testing went well, but on the final day of the test, some of the customer power units started to fail, and that left us with a lot of work to do ahead of the start of the season. These new power units were fragile, and you had to do whatever it took just to get through the season. Some of the team would argue that the 2013 chassis was the better car, but the deadlines had to be met, designs needed to be locked in, and one of the major challenges for this car was for the chassis team to incorporate the power unit into the W05. So in hindsight, there's lots of areas of the 2014 car that could have been improved on. From the outside, it looked like a dominant season, but from the inside, it was tough. From some of the highs like the duel in the desert between Lewis and Nico in Bahrain, to some of the lows like the DNF at the beginning of the season for Lewis in Australia, and what could have been a 1-2 in Canada. As it turned out, it was to be the first championship double victory for the team, where we took the Constructors' Championship in Russia and where the Drivers' Championship went all the way down to the wire in Abu Dhabi, where Lewis was crowned champion. Next time we take a look at how the team built on the successes of this car to create the W06.